Thank you. My next guest is a truly amazing man, and in his new book, which is called Kreskin's Fun Way to Mind Expansion, he explains how to do amazing feats with friends. Please welcome the amazing Kreskin.
You know, I love to start a program like this because it gives you the feeling of informality, you know, and so forth. But Don, I got to show you something tonight. By the way, I stress I'm not a psychic, I'm not a fortune teller. Don, why don't more fortune tellers spend more time at racetracks? That's something to think about, folks. But I do believe in the potential of the mind. This is not a trick. This is an experiment that I think you'll find interesting. All of you here in the audience. Now, at home, it's not going to work. But you folks here in the audience, I need to use your imagination in order to show you how I can control the muscles of your eyes, so that even if Don or I come up to you, it's still going to work. Everybody in the audience here, just close your eyes, folks. Now, Don, we can see them. We have access to all. Everybody close your eyes. Now, folks, don't try to open your eyes yet, because this is not magic. This is not a trick. It's the potential of suggestion. Now, picture somebody whom you know. And what's interesting is you're going to all find yourself unable to do something, and Don will discuss with you and I what's happening. Keep picturing that person, and folks, try to open your eyes. And the incredible thing is they're trying, but they literally can't open their eyes. Try as hard as you can. I can even talk to you, but the eyes don't open. You really can't open them, can you? What does it feel like when you try?
It's hard.
Is that? Keep trying. Look at that. All in there. They're trying. Try as hard as you can. They're struggling. There's a lady right here who can't, over in the second aisle here. Ma'am, try very hard. Try as hard as you can. You really can't open them, can you, ma'am? They won't open. Look at that, Don. Look at how many people in the audience are sitting with their eyes stuck. Now, no longer picture the person you pictured before, and you can open your eyes. What happened? Why couldn't you open them before?
I don't know.
Really? Did you try?
Yeah,
Did you feel a kind of weight on the eyelids?
sort of.
Really? Over here, Don. You couldn't open your eyes, could you?
No.
What did it feel like when you tried?
You can't. Your eyes are just sealed shut.
What's your first name?
Jim.
Jim, would you promise me, now you really tried, didn't you? But people might think you're acting. Would you promise me to try as hard as you can again? Close your eyes again. Watch how quick. Picture the same person. Try as hard as you possibly can in every way, shape, or we can talk to you. Don can talk to you. They just don't open, do they? They won't open. Try. No, you can
Open
ask
up.
them. Until I snap my fingers, they won't open. Try. Try as hard as you can.
Come on, open.
He really can't. He really can't. What's it feel like when you try?
They stick together.
Try as, he's struggling. Try as hard as you can.
I'm trying.
Is it like glue?
They just won't open.
Now watch. Isn't that fascinating, folks?
Amazing!
Come on down, folks. That wasn't so good out here, huh? I don't know what the hell those two. All right. Don, it really... You know what's interesting about that is, this is the first time, months ago, a season ago, we had the Olympics, and Jim McKay and all of the Western commentators mentioned for the first time in modern history, when you watch the Western athletes, like the diver or the person with the shot put, many, many times, if you think about it, they stood there with their eyes closed. One diver stood there for 40 seconds at the top of the board with his eyes closed, and I had said this for 2 decades. Every Russian athlete has been trained in this by rehearsing in their minds what they knew they had to do, like a golfer.
Do they do it in their mind first?
I trained 2 famous violinists who came to me some years ago and said, Kreskin, well, like myself, with all the concerts here in Canada and in the United States, I'm on the road all but 4 days a month. I did 293 appearances last year. So 2 violinists came to me. One, and it's not fair, one very famous, to mention the person, and said, Kreskin, I waste, he said to me, an awful lot of time in air travel. So today, when the motor starts, he closes his eyes, and he sees and hears himself playing the violin. And there doesn't seem to be much question, but that it does affect the learning process, as if he had done some practice. He'll practice a whole scenario, maybe 50 minutes long.
So that's the same thing as learning your lines when you're asleep, when they put a record on?
Except, Don, that doesn't work.
Really?
Unless all the advertising folks about sleep learning doesn't work unless you're a lousy sleeper.
Unless you're awake.
Because in the deepest levels of sleep, you really are not communicating that successfully with outside stimuli. The only exceptions are the crises one. A mother can sleep through traffic, through a world war like in England, but if a baby starts crying a little bit, she'll awaken like that. But the sleep learning, no, I'll tell you where it is successful. It's successful to the people who are selling the tapes. They sleep much more soundly. The slow burn on that one, but I feel that way very strong.
I was just thinking that I was on your show once in my character, Charlie Farkas.
With hay.
And I ruined your act.
Well, you know, everybody, and Don, I think you will agree, nothing was rigged on that show. You were to draw a circle anywhere. I had a crazy idea. I said, people have been looking for a needle in a haystack for years. So I said, let's have Don. What other person, all of show business in the world, does not look more at home amongst hay and in a casual farming outfit? And I meant it as because of how we've seen him. I said, I want Don to draw a circle anywhere on the stage and I'll find it. But bring in hay, well, my staff never knew what to expect. They got trucks and trucks. I didn't realize it took that much hay to cover. You know, stages have been covered with other things, but not hay. So I couldn't find it. In fact, you came back a year later, but it's because...
But I forgot where it was. I was the one that did it to you.
Well, slightly just a peripheral thing. That's incredible. If you saw it at Christmas time, the series in the States, did I guest on one of the most dramatic tests of my life. To wrap it up, and it was not rigged because next to me, when I got off the plane in Santa Barbara, California, was what the ABC network calls a continuity acceptance person. That's a nice word for a terrible thing called censor. And he stood, he was very nice, he stood 10 feet away to make sure what I was doing was legitimate. I got off the plane in Santa Barbara because the network had researched and found I never performed in that city. That was the day they handed me a letter, the postmaster of the city, and as they stood behind me, I had to hand-deliver the letter to the person whose name was inside, that they alone knew, and it was any person in all of Santa Barbara, California. We almost were hit twice by automobiles. It was edited out because it was truly terrifying. I'm concentrating, leading a committee, and cars are flying around us. And I found a loft off an ocean front and found a hidden staircase, and a man was quietly working in the staircase. And I said, sir, I can't go any farther. I've been running for 48 minutes, and it was his name inside. But what they took out was I came to a store in the middle of town and was doing this on the window. And I said when the show was over, what was going on in the committee, who included the president of the Chamber of Commerce at Kreskin? We stood there terrified. I said, why? He said, the store window had wooden plaques of first names, like mugs, on the inside of the window. I said, but there's no door there. They said, yes, but exactly where you were rapping on the window was the first name of the person they were thinking of miles away. I cannot explain that, but I'd like to try something.
Why not? You've tried everything else.
And you know, Wayne is sitting here because I wouldn't prearrange anything, but I said, Wayne, I'm going to do something with you, and I can see how calm he is about it.
Wait a minute. After that story, I don't think it. Give me those switch places here.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Listen, we haven't prearranged anything at all.
No.
What I'm going to do, now this one I've...
Send me to Santa Barbara.
I don't know where... There, we've got two books now, but Wayne, let me in fact take that cue card. We got a cue card there, Don, a felt tip pen. In fact, this is not, again, I'll just take one of them. Good. This is not sleight of hand. What I did with the audience was I used the power of suggestion to, in essence, lock the muscles of their eyes. And Wayne, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, just so that you don't see what I'm writing. Don, you do so also, because someone might feel that unconsciously there'd be some help. Now, they have their eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. No, you'll have no trouble opening them. But, folks, I'm writing down here a thought. It's literally an idea, which, instead of locking Wayne's eyes, is an idea I'm going to cause him to respond to indirectly. Now, you can all open your eyes. We'll get rid of these cards out of the way, Don, off to the side. And let me set this here for now. Don, you do not look at it, but put your initials on the back, just right on the back here. Now, I've written a thought or an idea. Wayne, you can open your eyes. The book here, I can take the cards out, has, well, it's my new one, it has about 170 pages. And Wayne, if I riffle through here, some of the pages, there are pictures. I mean, you'll verify, but mainly print.
Right.
Mainly print. Now, Wayne, what I want to do is this. you can look straight ahead. I'm just going to riffle through the pages, and you call out stop anytime you want. Just say stop anytime.
Stop.
Well, you stop me at what page?
92, 93.
92, 93. Can I have that card? Wayne, do you have a pen on you?
No.
In your pocket right now. All right, I'm going to use one. Hold that there. I'll use one like this. Now, let me show. Just using the back of this card here because we need a small surface. Don't draw a circle that large. Because, Wayne, you cover so many words on the page that we wouldn't really pinpoint anything. You're going to draw a circle about that small. If you can look, I don't know if our camera even has it, about that small. Now, Wayne, are you right or are you left-handed?
Left-handed.
That's interesting. If I asked you to use your right hand, would you feel uncomfortable doing that?
Would probably look the same as mine.
Probably look the
Yeah.
same because you're going to think only in terms of circles. Think of a song that you could mentally hum. Don't say it out loud.
Wait a minute.
You
wait a
got
minute.
it?
I got to think of a song here.
Take this in your hand. Do you have any idea what song he's thinking of? It would
Me?
be dramatic if you did. What is the song, by the way?
Oh, Susanna.
Oh, Susanna. My God, that's a cultural awakening, I'll tell you. Look, 92, 93. Any pictures on the page?
No.
Alec, no pictures at all?
No.
No markings any way, shape, or form. Now, you start to think of the song. Hold the pen upward as if you were to write this way. Just hold it up in your hand. Well, you better hold your other hand. Hold your other hand if you're used to writing with that. It might be easier. Now, start to hum the song mentally, not out loud. Don't mark the page because you'll mark too much. Move your hand in a circle. Finally, make the circle smaller, and you stop the song. When you stop the song in your mind, stop the pen. Don't touch the page yet. Have you stopped the song? Slowly come to the page and draw a circle. All right, you can take your hand away when you're done. You did stop the song at that point. Look, that's not a very good circle. It's not a very neat circle, but on a page that had no markings in any way, shape, or form, Don, he circled the B-L-E-S in what word?
Marbles.
If you don't have 5 marbles, you can use coins. It is marbles, Don? Yep, marbles. Now, the reason, you got to understand, he could have picked any page, but he stopped on 93. He used, instead of having his eyes closed, I used music to distract his thinking. And by the way, if we can get a close-up, if I can draw an arrow with this pen, it's about the 3rd paragraph from the bottom, and he circled marbles. Don, would you look at the card yourself and then show it to our audience?
I am the biggest skeptic of it.
We'll be right back with Author Pierre.